I want to share something incredibly powerful with you. It's a practice that works very fast if you just do it. I'm talking about transforming your life by changing how you think and feel, and how quickly this can lead to remarkable shifts. This is about harnessing the power of your mind and body to create the life you want. It's simple, and it works. First, let's talk about how most people start their day. The average person gets up, grabs their phone, checks emails, texts, or social media, and then goes through their routine without much thought. This routine becomes automatic. They are essentially running on a program, a set of habits that they don't even question. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. But what if I told you that this is exactly where you can make a powerful change? Instead of letting your day start on autopilot, begin by asking yourself a key question. What is the greatest ideal of myself that I can be today? This question isn't just a thought. It's a direction. It's a way to step out of your habitual patterns and into a state of conscious creation. When you ask yourself this question, your body might protest. It might say, I'm tired, I need coffee, I've got too much to do. This is where you have to take control. Your body is not the mind, you are. You must be the one directing your thoughts and actions. Tell your body that you will take care of its needs. But right now, you are in charge. This is the beginning of breaking the cycle of unconscious behavior. Let's get practical with a simple but effective exercise. Start by writing down 4 positive thoughts that you want to focus on for the day. These thoughts should be uplifting and supportive of your goals and well-being. For example, you might choose thoughts like, I am capable, I am strong, I am worthy, or I am abundant. Writing these thoughts down helps to make them more concrete and real. It's like setting a positive intention for your day. By having these thoughts written down, you create a clear reminder of what you want to focus on and reinforce throughout the day. Next, pay attention to how often you notice thoughts that contradict these positive affirmations. For example, if you've written down, I am capable, and throughout the day you find yourself thinking things like, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough. Take note of these contradictory thoughts. These are the moments when your old beliefs or negative patterns might try to take over. When you become aware of these conflicting thoughts, you are already halfway to changing them. Awareness is a crucial first step. It's like shining a light on something that was previously hidden in the dark. Once you recognize that these negative or limiting thoughts are coming up, you can start to address them. For instance, if you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this when you've written, I am capable, remind yourself of the positive thought. Take a moment to consciously replace the negative thought with the positive one. You might say to yourself, wait, I am capable. I can handle this challenge. This practice helps to shift your mindset from negative to positive. Be patient with yourself during this process. Changing your thought patterns takes time and consistent effort. It's normal to have negative thoughts, but the key is to recognize them and actively choose to focus on your positive affirmations. Each time you catch yourself thinking something negative, use it as an opportunity to reinforce the positive thoughts you've written down. Another helpful tip is to repeat your positive thoughts regularly throughout the day. Whenever you find yourself slipping into negative thinking, take a deep breath and remind yourself of the positive thoughts. You could even set reminders on your phone or put sticky notes in places where you'll see them often. These reminders will help keep your positive thoughts at the forefront of your mind. Next, consider your actions and behaviors. Do you complain? Do you blame others? Do you make excuses? All of these behaviors are part of a victim mentality. You must become conscious of these patterns and decide to change them. This is about shifting from being reactive to being proactive. Choose to act differently and make it a point to note how you respond in various situations. Now think about the emotions you experience throughout the day. Are you operating from a place of guilt, fear, or anxiety? These emotions can become so ingrained that they feel like part of who you are. To change this, you need to actively cultivate positive emotions. Feelings of gratitude, joy, and love can rewire your brain and body in a profound way. Here's a powerful exercise that can truly make a difference in your life. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on your life and give thanks. This practice can be incredibly beneficial for your overall well-being and happiness. Start by finding a quiet spot where you can sit comfortably and be undisturbed. You might want to do this exercise before you go to bed, as it can help you end your day on a positive note. Begin by thinking about the day you've just had. Reflect on the moments, both big and small, that you are grateful for. It could be something as simple as a kind word from a friend, a delicious meal, or even the fact that you have a roof over your head. As you think about these things, focus on feeling gratitude deeply within yourself. This isn't just about acknowledging what you're thankful for. It's about truly experiencing that feeling of thankfulness. Let it fill your heart and mind. Imagine that you are receiving a gift with each thing you are thankful for. Feel the warmth and joy that this gift brings you. By doing this, you are not just thinking about gratitude, you are allowing yourself to really feel it. When you are in a state of gratitude, you are also in a state of receiving. Gratitude opens you up to the abundance of the universe. It helps you to connect with the flow of positive energy around you. This connection is important because it aligns you with the good things that life has to offer. When you regularly practice gratitude, you are more likely to notice and attract even more positive experiences into your life. Gratitude is one of the highest emotional states you can achieve. It is a powerful force because it shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. This shift in perspective can make a big difference in how you feel and how you experience life. Instead of focusing on problems or shortcomings, gratitude helps you to appreciate the abundance that already exists in your life. When you consistently practice gratitude, you start to build a habit of looking for the positive aspects of your life. This habit can improve your overall mood and outlook. You may find that you are more resilient in the face of challenges because you are more attuned to the good things around you. Gratitude helps to create a positive feedback loop. The more you focus on what you are grateful for, the more you will find to be thankful for. Think of gratitude as the ultimate state of receiving. When you truly feel grateful, your body begins to align with this positive energy. This can lead to numerous benefits. Research shows that when you maintain a state of gratitude, it triggers over 1,200 chemical reactions in the body that contribute to healing and repair. Another important practice is to spend time simply being aware of your surroundings. Close your eyes and open your awareness to the space around you. This practice helps reduce stress and enhances brain coherence. By paying attention to the space around you, you create a sense of calm and clarity. Most of our thoughts and feelings are based on past experiences. Our brain is a record of everything we have learned and experienced up to this point. When we encounter new experiences, our brain processes this information and links it to existing neural networks. This is why past emotions and memories influence our current state of being. When you create new experiences, you are essentially reshaping your brain's neural networks. Every time you think a thought and feel an emotion, you are reinforcing these networks. To change your state of being, you must introduce new thoughts and feelings consistently. This is where the practice of gratitude and self-awareness comes in. Your thoughts and feelings create a state of being. When you combine positive thoughts with positive emotions, you create a positive attitude. Conversely, negative thoughts and feelings create a negative attitude. Over time, these attitudes form beliefs. Beliefs are simply thoughts that you keep thinking until they become ingrained in your subconscious. Beliefs are very powerful because they shape how you see and experience your world. Your beliefs are like a filter through which you view everything that happens around you. They influence your feelings, thoughts, and actions. When your beliefs are strong and positive, they can help you achieve your goals and dreams. But if your beliefs are based on past experiences, especially negative ones, they might hold you back from reaching your full potential. Imagine you believe you are not good enough because of past failures or criticisms. This belief can create a barrier in your mind. It might make you feel anxious or unconfident, and it could stop you from trying new things or taking on new challenges. You might not even realize it, but this belief can keep you stuck in a cycle of limited possibilities. It's like having a ceiling over your head that prevents you from reaching higher. To break free from these limitations, you need to challenge and change your beliefs. This process requires a lot of effort and practice, but it's worth it. Here's how you can start. First, identify the beliefs that are holding you back. Think about your past experiences and how they might have shaped your current beliefs. For example, if you failed at something in the past, you might believe that you're not capable of succeeding in similar situations. Recognize these limiting beliefs and acknowledge that they are not the truth about who you are or what you can achieve. Next, question these beliefs. Ask yourself if they are really true or if they are just based on past experiences that don't define your present or future. Often we hold on to old beliefs simply because they are familiar, not because they are accurate. Challenge yourself to look at things from a different perspective. For instance, if you believe you are not good at public speaking because you had a bad experience once, remind yourself of other situations where you communicated well. This helps to break the hold of the old belief. After challenging your old beliefs, you need to replace them with new, positive ones that support your goals and desires. Think about what you want to achieve and create beliefs that align with those goals. For example, if you want to be more successful in your career, you might replace the belief, "I'm not good enough," with "I have the skills and abilities to succeed." Creating new beliefs takes practice. You have to consistently remind yourself of these new beliefs and work on making them a part of your daily life. Use positive affirmations to reinforce these new beliefs. For example, every day, tell yourself, "I am capable," or "I am worthy of success." Repeating these affirmations helps to reprogram your mind and align your actions with your new beliefs. Another way to support your new beliefs is to take actions that prove them to be true. If you believe you are capable of achieving something, start taking small steps towards that goal. As you see progress, your belief in your abilities will grow stronger. Each small success reinforces the new belief and makes it more real in your mind. Here's a technique to help with this. Visualize your ideal self. Imagine how you would feel if you were already living your dream life. Feel those emotions as if they are happening right now. This is about teaching your body to experience the future before it manifests. The more you practice this, the more your brain and body will align with this new reality. Consistency is key. You must practice these techniques every day. It's like installing new software in your brain. The more you rehearse these new thoughts and behaviors, the more they become your default. Over time, this new way of being will become your new normal. When you stay in a state of gratitude and positive emotions, you open yourself up to new opportunities and synchronicities. You start to notice doors opening that you didn't see before. This is because your energy is aligned with the frequency of your desires. The universe responds to this alignment by bringing you opportunities that match your new state of being. So start your day with the intention to be the best version of yourself. Be aware of your thoughts, actions, and emotions. Practice gratitude and self-awareness. Visualize your ideal life and feel it as if it's happening now. Consistency and practice will lead to powerful changes in your life. The frontal lobe has connections to all other parts of your brain. The moment you ask an open-ended question, you speculate a possibility. the creative center turns on, and it looks out over the landscape of the entire brain, and it begins to call up different networks of neurons that are stored in your brain based on something you've learned intellectually, knowledge, or something you've experienced in your life. Like, well, I know what it is to be in love, or I know what it is to have a good job, or I read a book about it, and it begins to call up these different networks of neurons, and then it seamlessly pieces them together to create a new idea, a new vision. Now listen, your body's gonna go like, well, we gotta get a cup of coffee, and you gotta go, I'm tired, and you gotta go, body, you're not the mind, I'm the mind right now. You're gonna sit here, I'm gonna feed you, you're gonna get your coffee, you're going to do all those things, but right now, this is my time. You're going to obey me. Right? So now the body's no longer the mind, you're the mind. And so when it wants to get up and you become aware of it, you return back to the present moment. Every time you do, that's a victory. And you're changing some aspect of yourself. So then ask yourself, I do this all the time. Write down 4 thoughts that you're going to stay conscious of the whole day. I can't, it's too hard. You'd be surprised the moment you become conscious of what those thoughts are, how unconscious you've been to them all day, all for weeks on end. Write down what you speak, how you speak, 4 things you want to change, how you act, how do you act? Do you complain? Do you blame? Do you make excuses? Do you feel sorry for yourself? That's a victim consciousness. What emotions do you live by? Is it possible that you're so used to living by guilt you don't even know it's guilt, it just feels like you? Do you allow your energy to drop? Become conscious of those states of mind and body and review them and say, this is the old self. Then say, what thoughts do I want to fire and wire in my brain? And start firing and wiring and start feeling it. What behaviors will I demonstrate today? What choices will I make? One day, one lifetime, just like you did, rehearse them. Rehearse the whole entire thing. Begin to install the neurological hardware in your brain. And if you keep installing it, the hardware is going to become a software program, and you're going to start thinking and acting that way. And then here's the tough part. Can you teach your body emotionally what your future is going to feel like before it's made manifest? And don't get up until you feel that way. Now practice that for a few days and then see if you can stay in that state and watch all of a sudden all those weird doors start opening for you. Synchronicities, whatever they are. Number 2, take time at the end of your day before you lay down, and give thanks for your life. Feel gratitude and really teach your body what it feels like. The emotional signature of gratitude means you're getting something. If I give you something that's of value, you would say thank you because you would feel it, right? So when you're receiving, you're giving thanks. So gratitude is the ultimate state of receiving. So then people only accept, believe, and surrender to the thoughts equal to their emotional state. So if you're in a state of gratitude, every thought's gonna make it right down into your body. If you're saying, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, and your body's programmed the negativity, it's saying, no, you're not, no, you're not, no, you're not, thought's going to stop right here. So as you elevate your state, there are about 100-200 different chemical reactions that go on in the body that begin to restore and repair the body in a state of gratitude. And so we've done the research to prove that. 10 minutes and just feel it with all of your heart. That's it. The third thing, and very important, take time. Whenever it is, sit down, close your eyes, and begin to just open your awareness to the space around you and just sense it and pay attention to it and become more aware of it. The act of opening your awareness begins to reduce the stress hormones and creates more coherent brainwave states. I'm doing it right now. It's just a practice. It's just a practice. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. Most of our thoughts and feelings come from our past experiences. They come from our memories. In fact, your brain is organized to reflect everything you know in your life. Your brain is a record of all the things you've learned and experienced to date. It's an artifact. And when you have an experience, when you're in the midst of an experience, all of your five senses plug you into the external environment. And as your brain is processing all of this vital sensory data, all of that information rushes back to the brain, and when it reaches the brain, it causes jungles of neurons to organize themselves into networks, to string into patterns, to reflect their interaction with their external environment. The moment those neurons organize into patterns, the brain makes a chemical, and that chemical is called a feeling or an emotion. And so experiences tend to create more long-term memories because it patterns or stamps or embosses networks of neurons into very specific patterns. And then the emotional quotient helps us to remember the event. So we learn something new intellectually. We also cause networks of neurons to form. The Nobel Prize laureate Kandel in the year 2000 found that when people learn just one bit of information, they double the number of connections in their brain from 1,300 connections to 2,600 connections. So if they didn't review that information or repeat it, the connections pruned apart. So we know then that learning semantic information begins to organize circuitry in the brain, and experiences enrich the brain. The end product of experience, of course, is the emotion, and it causes us to feel certain ways. You can remember where you were on 9/11. You can tell me who you were with, what time of day it was, what you were doing, because whatever you were seeing in that moment or hearing in that moment changed how you were feeling. And the moment you felt altered or you felt differently, significantly, your brain perked up and you paid attention to whatever caused that. And that event in and of itself is called a memory. So then most of our thoughts and feelings tend to be within the neural circuitry of the past and the emotions of the past chemically. So if you take a thought, thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body, and how you think and how you feel creates a state of being. So if you combine a thought and a feeling, a thought and a feeling, a thought and a feeling, and you have a series of good thoughts that are connected to a series of good feelings, that cycle of thinking and feeling creates what's called an attitude. If you have a series of negative thoughts that are connected to some pretty bad feelings, you'll say, I have a pretty bad attitude today. So if how you think and how you feel creates a state of being, then attitudes are just shortened states of being. You feel good in the morning, you feel bad in the afternoon. If you take an attitude, an attitude, an attitude, and you begin to string attitudes together, when you combine an attitude, an attitude, an attitude, you start to form what's called beliefs. Now, a belief is just a thought you keep thinking over and over again until you hardwire it in your brain. And because beliefs are based on past experiences, then the very boundaries of our beliefs are how we feel. And so when our beliefs get challenged, it typically doesn't feel right. I know from the research that we've done that the redundancy of thinking and feeling and thinking over time, for example, a person has an insecure thought, then they feel insecure. The moment they feel insecure, they think more insecure thoughts. They fire and wire more circuits in their brain to feel more chemicals of insecurity. And then once they're feeling insecure, they think more insecure thoughts. And they do this over and over again. Right on the other side of your fear is courage. Right on the other side of your sadness is joy. It's the same energy. It's just trapped in the body. And when you stretch yourself past that point and you break free from the chains of those emotional addictions, the side effect of that is called joy. And the body is liberated from that level of mind. And when that happens, there's available energy to create with. And so when you break through that, you begin to love yourself. You begin to respect yourself. And you begin to love and respect others because you see yourself in them. And now that you're free from it, you can understand them with compassion without knee-jerking in the same way. So the difficulty here is really making the time to do it. And if you began to think about a new way of being and you moved into a state where you said, I'm not going to get up until I am this person. And not only did you memorize it neurologically in your brain, but you allowed the thoughts that you were thinking to become the experience to the point that your body, as the unconscious mind, began to live in that future reality in the present moment. And when you got up, when mind and body were working together in that state of being, and you said, I'm going to maintain the state of being my entire day, and I don't care. Bring on the challenges, because I want to test my greatness. And you did that the entire day. The end of your day, when you finished your day, more than likely you'd have more energy than when you started. The literal translation of the word meditation in Tibetan means to become familiar with. The symbol means to become familiar with. So if you're becoming conscious of or familiar with your unconscious self to the point you're so conscious of your unconscious thoughts, so familiar with your unconscious habits, and so aware of your emotions that you would never let them go by unnoticed by you. There's no chance for you to return back to the old self, to know thyself. So people wake up in the morning and they start thinking about their problems. And those problems are memories in the brain that are connected to certain people and certain things at certain times and places. So they wake up in the morning and they start thinking in the past. Now, the moment they start having those thoughts, every one of those experiences has an emotion associated with it. So when they start thinking about their problems or the problems of the world or the problems of their body or whatever it is, problems at work, they all of a sudden start to feel the correlated emotion. So now their body's in the past. So now people then get caught up in an emotion, they reaffirm their identity, they could wake up in the morning and feel nothing at all. And then all of a sudden they say, well, wait a second, I've got to get back to myself. So they start thinking about their problems, and here come the emotions. And they say, oh, now I feel like me again. So those emotions then begin to influence our thoughts. Like if you feel like a failure, you're going to think you're a failure. And when you think you're a failure, you're going to feel like a failure. And when you feel like a failure, you're going to think more thoughts equal to being a failure. And the cycle of thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking causes you to say, I am a failure. And the repetition of that process of thinking and feeling and feeling and thinking conditions the body to become the mind of that emotion. Now the emotion is stored in the body. Now the body's literally in the past. And the body, as the unconscious mind, doesn't know the difference between the actual experience that's creating the emotion and the emotion that you're creating by thought alone. Your body's believing it's in the same experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So then getting people out of the past is the work. So then they wake up in the morning after they reaffirm who they are, and they can't think greater than how they feel. They're in the familiar past. So if you're in the familiar past, you're going to do the things that reaffirm the emotions of your predictable future. So you wake up in the morning, you check your WhatsApp, you check your text, you check your Twitter, you tweet, you check your Facebook, you check your email, you check the news. Now you are really connected to everything that's known in your life. And then you run through a series of routine behaviors. You move around your house the same way you always do. You do all the same things. You go to the same grocery store, you buy the same food, you shop the same way, you do all these, you watch the same TV shows, and people do this for 10, 20, 30 years. Now their body's on autopilot, and their body's dragging them into a predictable future based on what they did in the past. You could actually take their yesterday and lift it up and set it on their tomorrow, which means then they've lost their free will to a program. So now the familiar past and the predictable future is called the known. There's only one place that you have to train a person to be so that they're not in the known, they're in the unknown, and that's called the present moment. So people get very happy being unhappy because they would rather cling to their unhappiness than take a chance in possibility. So stepping into that river and beginning to make a new choice and understanding that uncertainty, that unpredictability is the unknown. Now you're in that river of change, and it is the neurological, the biological, the chemical, hormonal, genetic death of the old self. People say to me, well, if there's uncertainty, I can't predict my future. And I always say the same thing. The best way to predict your future is to create it, not in the known, right there. That uncertainty, you can learn now how to regulate your state instead of living in fear, because the idea that things are going to get worse, the idea that you can't predict, the idea of being uncertain or can't control something actually sets off the stress response. So now you're in the unknown, and this survival gene is switched on. Of course, people are going out of the infinite possibilities that exist in the quantum field. They're going to select the worst scenario in their mind, right? So then what if you're in the unknown and you understand that, and now you can work back into that present moment, and you say, what thoughts do I want to fire and wire in my brain, put my attention behind? What behaviors today, one day, what behaviors do I want to demonstrate? And the act of closing your eyes and mentally rehearsing who you're going to be when you open your eyes begins to install the neurological hardware in your brain to look like you've already done it. Now, the brain is no longer a record of the past.